Hey everyone, welcome back to Pandas Data Diaries. Today we'll explore how to compare two entire datasets and find differing rows. You might consider using AI tools like ChatGPT Data Analyst for such tasks. And let me first show you how to do this. So let's switch to Data Analyst, and I already copied the sample data files that I want to compare. And let's use a prompt that I've prepared already, and just see what it does when we copy this prompt over. Compare these two datasets and directly print the rows that are different between them in tabular format. So let's see. Awesome. After a little bit of processing, Data Analyst returns the result and says that two rows are different between these two data sets. So that's already the result that we were looking for. But there are two main challenges with this approach. The first one is that Data Analyst might not always be 100% reliable. It might hallucinate and produce false output at times. And also sending data to a third party like OpenAI poses a risk to data privacy. Therefore, local processing is often preferred, especially in an enterprise context, to ensure data privacy. And it also yields reproducible results. We can use Python's Pandas library to do that. So let's switch back to the Jupyter Notebook and see how it would be done using Python Pandas. So first of all, I'm loading the dataset here. Let's load them again and printing them out. So you see, this is the top section of the data frames, the two data frames that should be compared. And first thing to check is, are they actually equal? So there's a function to do that. It's just equals, and it returns false. So since this is false, we want to find out what is different between them. So we could use the dataframe.compare function, which has been introduced in the new version of Pandas, or not so new anymore, but 1.5. And it would return the comparison, column by column comparison, row by row comparison. But the problem here is that the data frames need to have the same structure. So when the two data frames don't have identical labels or shape, it will raise a value error. And this is often the case. So let's find out if this is true for our data sets. And first of all, compare the columns. They need to be the same. And this is true for all columns, so that's great. And now let's have a look at the shape of the data frames. And here we see that they have a different shape. So this will not work. One data frame is longer than the other. And when we print out both data frames next to each other, we see that there are two additional rows, 30 and 31. And we also see, if we take a closer look, that the data is also mixed up. So the rows don't match each other. They're at different positions within the data frame. So you see this section is the same as this section, for example. So the compare function won't work for us in this case. So what do we do now? We can actually use another function, which is the merge function. So we can do this here, run a PD merge for df1 and df2, and use the outer in combination with indicator equals true. This will add an additional column, and I will show you. So here there's a new column now which says underscore merge, and it tells us whether this specific row is contained in both, or only in the left or in the right data frame. So if you scroll down here, you see right only for the last rows. And now if I only want to see the different rows, I can run this here. So I'm basically saying, show me all rows except for the ones that have both for the merge column. And when we print out this, we find the two rows that were differing between the two data frames. So it's the same result that ChatGPT Data Analyst gave you, but this is something you can run locally without running into any data privacy issues, or it's always going to yield the same results. So for the time being, I would recommend using this approach instead. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time on my channel.